At the heart of ASEAN, a market of 600 million people, is Malaysia. Poised to grow at 6% a year over the next decade, it aims to achieve fully developed nation status by 2020. But the country faces stiff competition from its neighbors. I sat down with the Prime Minister of Malaysia and asked him about the plans to stay ahead.
If we can create opportunities for productive investment, then the private sector will then do the investment because there's enough liquidity in the system. All we need to do is create the opportunities. And if we can do the same, the foreign investors will also come in and participate in our economic transformation plans.
In fact, you seem to have gotten off to a good start because the Abu Dhabi State Investment Arm, Mubadala, has already agreed to co-develop the International Financial District in Kuala Lumpur. They're involved in Iskandar and plan to invest in Sarawak. Do you see that as a vote of confidence, and how strong are your ties with the Middle East specifically?
I was in the state of Malacca, and I appreciated this solar cell plant, a super-duper high-tech solar plant. It's the first phase, a $600 million investment. The second phase, another $600 investment. That's a very strong endorsement, a ring of confidence. And of course, when you mention the Middle East, we have very good ties with the Middle East, but it's something that requires us to work at it. And just because of our historical and religious links, it doesn't mean it will happen by itself. It means that you have to develop both a formal and personal relationship with these people. And once you've developed those relationships, then they will have confidence and they will look towards Malaysia.
Malaysia is a very unique country, geographically, ethnically, culturally, and in fact, U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, when she was recently here, she said that Malaysia can be a global thought leader, praising the initiatives to avoid religious tension here. What can Malaysia's role be in bridging the divide between the Muslim world and the West?
I think for a variety of reasons. First of all, Malaysia has a very sound track record in terms of how we practice Islam in this country. We've practiced Islam in a way to show that there is a very positive face of Islam, a very friendly face of Islam to the world. Islam is never associated with violence, with extremism and terrorism in Malaysia. So the West can relate to Islam and using Malaysia as a model. So on top of that, being a very, very multiracial, multi-religious society, we understand what it needs to manage a plural society. And we've shown that being a Muslim country, it is also consonant with how we treat non-Muslims, the minorities in this country, and that Islam is a religion that is inherently fair to the non-Muslims. And at the same time, it is fundamentally a moderate religion.
Now, one of the initiatives which is very dear to your heart is the movement of the moderates. Could you explain the concept and the reception you have received so far?
It is all about being moderate, which is not the same as being a wimp. Being moderate is actually to be to do the right thing, and that is what Islam is all about. And I stressed that the divide between us is not between whether you're a Muslim or Christian, or whether you're a Jew, or whether you're a Hindu or Buddhist or whatever it is. The divide is whether you are a moderate or an extremist. So if you are moderate, inherently moderate, in other words, you believe in basically the universal values.
How can moderates achieve and seize the high ground in this very cynical world that we are living in?
I think more of us should speak up, and more of us should relate this in every way, not just about leaders, but take it as part of parcel as being dear to us, as part and parcel of being our value system. And the more we talk about it, the more we preach about it, it becomes the mainstream. It's important for us to make sure that moderates become the mainstream of the thought process in the world.